So, welcome to No Shame. Another week from the quarantine. What? It's getting harder. I don't know about you, it's getting harder. Even though the restrictions are coming up and we're getting these little lifts and stuff like that, it is getting harder. But I will comment on this again. Seeing people out, I had a little moment the other day down in the I was going to call it Sean Walsh Park, but it's called Watergate Park because Sean Walsh was actually a crooked TD, if you must, when it came back. And they named the park about up the road. Anyway, whole podcast for a whole different day. But there's so many little ducklings that are being born. There's so many little nests. The swans are down there. We had a situation the other day where there was swan and duck, a group of duck and ducklings. I think that's what they're called, isn't it? But what happened is half of the little ducklings got caught in this little kind of river end, and the swans got stuck in the middle. And the mother of the ducks got stuck with two ducks, so they got separated, and the swans were in the middle. And I have to say, I think people are a little bit desperate for entertainment because this created a crowd. One duck was trying to get to the other ducklings to try and bring them back, and the swans were picking and pecking at them. And one of the swans grabbed one of the ducks and held it under the water. I think he was trying to drown them. But Mother Nature is evil, and it can be harsh at times. But you can see the kind of idea and the panic in animals the way you do with parents, because it was a similar situation than when if a parent was separated from their young one. You could see the kind of panic in the duck. Now the story actually ended well. So what happened was the adult duck, the mother went around and actually walked all of the ducks around at the end. Now this took about 20-25 minutes, and by the time it was finished, there was probably about 10 to 15 people there with their cameras looking at them. But it was pretty special. And to add to it, 3 days later, I went down. A lot of people were hating on the swans, to be honest. At that time, they were hating on them. They look like the bad ones, but then the same thing, the swans are only protecting their young too, because there was 3 swanlings there, and when I went down 2 or 3 days, the swanlings were in this little part of the pond where it was just still. There was nobody around, and the swanlings were playing with each other, and the 2 swans were just swimming around them, and it was kind of like a full circle moment. I think we don't see these times because we're so rushing all the time. We're rushing around all the time. We're in work. But it was pretty incredible for it was kind of like my community to stop and kind of watch what actually goes on in my community as it goes. And anyway, talking about my community. So I have a guy on today. His name is Rob Byrne, Nuisance as he's known. So Nuisance would have been a rapper back in the day when I was coming up. It's a badly hidden secret where people know that I was trying to be a rapper. That was my first goal, was to try and make it as a rapper. Now saying that, I think I was just trying to get some stuff out my chest and out my mind because it made me feel good. It made me feel good to write some stuff down that was pissing me off and just put it out there, you know. When I look back at how ambitious I was compared to how actually good I was, man, I was ambitious because I was not that good at all. But Rob was really good. Rob went on to do a song with Lupe Fiasco. Had some really good bangers out there as well. Had a song called with a group called Class S, and they made a song called Sin City. And if you haven't heard this song, you need to listen to this song now because it's so relevant to what's going on these days. They talk about the youth. They talk about drug use. They talk about death and killing. They talk about the government, the corruptness of government. They have some really good lines in this, and I have to say, from a group of lads coming together, it was probably one of the most time when rhythmical Irish poetry was coming through, rap or rip as you call it, because that's what rap stands for if you don't know. Rhythmical American poetry, when it was coming through, you got slagged if you sounded American, so you had to have your Dublin accent, so you had to kind of be my friends call me Casper because my skin's so pale. You had to have your Dublin accent with you. If you didn't, it just didn't suit. And one of the best people I've seen doing it was Rob Byrne. Rob Byrne is talking about doing a comeback now, which is exciting stuff. I remember jogging through Canada before I had a fight, and I had Rob's song on my MP3. Now again as well, I'm going to ask Rob some hard questions, because sometimes when we're chasing our dreams, other stuff can get in the way, and that's what I'm going to ask him about today. What's the crack, lad? What's the secret, mate? How are you here not like being all over the place?
I don't know, mate. You know, I'm well. You did. I suppose I'm not sure, but it's delighting, I think, for sure, because I'm in bits, mate. If you see me in person, I'm in a jacket.
Stop it. As I was saying on the last one there, I have my hair stapled to the back of my neck. I do now. It's moving down my spine. I can't do it. I'm teaching Zoom classes there. I am. It's like I have a mop stuck to my face or something like. You know what I mean? The wetness of it. I've only been introducing you there coming on, so I had you an old legend. So back in the day, I used to love just writing it down, putting it onto a CD. But I was saying that like my ambition versus my skill, I was very ambitious. But it was guys like you back in the day, 10 years ago, that like you were the players of the game, if you must, you know. You were doing it right, you were recording, you knew what beat making was, you knew what proper production was, where some people are still just banging it together. But I have to say as well, I think there was a time where I was running through Canada and I had your tune on my headset, right? And I remember even thinking at that time, he probably wouldn't believe that, or he probably would be fascinated. I didn't mean it in that way, do you know what I mean? But I was like, I know I would have when I was coming up. If someone had been able to listen to my music and be motivated, and it would have been tune he's made with Class A's Sin City, which was
right.
Listen, to me, right now, how relevant is that song?
Well, I think, man, dude, like, I think it's going to become even more relevant as we go into what's going to happen, you know, economically, you know, soon enough. But that song for us was a major breaking point, you know. Like it seemed after we made that well, the buzz started, but that was sort of the beginning of real social media as well. If you remember the Bebo days, that was like
Bebo page we did.
Yeah. But it was the Flashbox era, you know.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you know, that you mentioned Sin City, like, because I suppose that was like, first of all, as you said, we were putting it together professionally. The guy that recorded that video, John R. Lambert, he's gonna be the one that's recording my new single as well, producing the video, you know. So we're going back to brass tacks with that, back to the old days, how we done it properly. But he was the one that was first putting together them proper videos, you know. When, like you said, like other things and recordings and videos, it was sort of an amateur setup, you know. But he was one that pushed the video production to the forefront from the beginning.
And that's important because the visual tells a story, and it's like art. And like back in the day, you're watching MTV, you're watching Bleeding Top of the Pops or whatever it was. Like, even like, you know, like say the Gorillas and stuff like that. Like, sometimes you wouldn't like the tune at the start, but you'd watch the video and then all of a sudden you're bopping onto the tune.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was it. That song was massive for us. It was me, Red, and Tallaght on that. And I think I was only looking at it on YouTube the other day. I think there's nearly 500,000 hits on it, you know. And obviously that song's Jesus. I'd say you're going back over 12, 13 years now, that song is.
That's what I was listening to it last night, because I was getting prepared for this today as well, but that would be a song that would bop onto my iPod every now and again. You know, just, Jesus, heard of, you know what I mean? One of the good ones.
The shy one.
No, I mean, like, you know, we have a tune song on your iPod and you're like, why did I even put that there? You know what I mean? Yeah. We have a tune that I'm like, I'd put that on my iPod, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I hate that man that wrote that song. You know what I'm saying? It just goes really quick, it can, you know? But with a song like that, it's like, you know, it comes back to like a wedding song. You're like, oh, me jam! You know, you're up and you're singing it. I don't know if I've seen City on at a wedding, but you know what I mean. But
I would like to see the crowd at that wedding anyway.
What? Yeah. Ooh. 7-day wedding. That was a 7-day wedding, that was. The bride and groom went home after 2 days, though, but we kept going for 5. But like even some of the stuff that you were talking about in that song that you're talking about, like if you released that, say, during the election just gone or something like that at a time, like that could be like that has the ability to be like a movement song, you know what I mean? Like a song of an election, because he's like going on about young people getting into drugs, getting into their drugs. They sound old, don't it? They do the drugs, they do. Like getting into drugs, getting into like there's killings going on in it. You're talking about the corruption in government. I think it's a Redzer that talks about this country's about to fall to bits. All the guns and politics, you know, and it goes on. But it's like when you're listening to the words, maybe that was before its time then, where like when you were saying that everyone was against the government, and it was like, yeah, well, not our government, like our government's like. They wouldn't do that to us, you know. But now I think people are more awake through the social media and stuff, all of that. I think a song like that re-released, digitally remastered, if you must, you know what I mean? Could be massive now.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's interesting that you say that. You probably find some serious relevance in that song now. And I suppose, like, as an artist, like, it's songs like that you want to make that are, like, timeless or relevant to many times, you know? Like, as opposed to, like, I've done a couple of duds where you'd listen back to it as you grow up, you know, and you get a bit older and they make you anxious, like, listen to them, you know? Yeah, walking into a nightclub right now at the moment makes me want to take a Xanax, you know what I mean? Like, so none of that, none of my new stuff is going to be poppy like that. But at the same time, there's a lot of positivity going on in my life and my surroundings without the necessity to talk about popping bottles at the bar. You know what I mean? These days. Although I do miss a pint of Guinness.
Oh, stop, man, stop. No, listen, look at the background there. Look, the rhythmical Irish poetry life looks like it paid off well, mate. Well, doing well. You look, but like, maybe shooting from a situation like this, because I know for a fact that when I was coming up, I was shooting from a situation of desperation. That like sometimes standing at the door getting ready to go out, the fight was like, well, this is it. This is bills. This is money. This is my future. This is everything. You know, and sometimes walking across the tightrope with that much on the line at times is hard. So, say when you were coming up, I know I kind of noticed the time that you slid off in that way, and it would have been. I thought you wanted. Sorry, slid. That's a horrible one. Slid off. It's like he was a snake or something. He was sound. He was. You know, you split your way. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you went your way in a kind of way, and I was a little bit. I thought because you just done a song with Lupe Fiasco and all at that time, and that had to be a mad time. I remember driving down the road listening to you on, I think it was Spin 1038, if I remember well. And you'd won the competition to do Lupe Fiasco. But I can imagine that energy in you as a youth, like, right lads, there's a competition. This is what we got to do. And then when you get it.
You know, it's funny you say that, Paddy, because that was actually the beginning of the end for me, really, because I started, like, I mean, at first, I suppose to bring it all the way back, HMV in the Square, I used to buy rap singles, right? And the only reason I'd buy them at one stage was to get the instrumental, so I could just sit up in my room freestyling, you know? And then I was like, right, I could start writing this down, taking it serious and whatever, and I put so much in from the time I was about 13 or 14 up to the point I was about 23 or 24 that like I nearly became, like I was obsessed with it for about 10 years. I couldn't think of anything else. I didn't care about another career path. There was no Irish rap scene as such. There was brilliant Irish rappers and hip-hop artists, but there was, like, it certainly wasn't a career path, you know, and we've a lot in common in that regard in our early sort of, you know, but the Lupe Fiasco thing, like, I was nearly gone before that happened. And then when it happened, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be it. This is a beautiful stepping stone to, you know, what I thought was important at the time, and which it was in the sense that it was the radio that steered everything. Like, you needed to be on the radio to get listens and clicks and everything. And when they actually gave me the verse, the record label, they didn't let us do anything with it as such, other than let it be played on Spin and one or two other stations. And there's so many, like, one door opened, and people would assume that this is going to be it. But the amount of other doors that I seen close after that one open, I was just like, man, this is some bullshit. Like, you know, like this, like, if this is the way this is after this long, you know. So at this stage, I was about 24, 25. I've been with my missus, who's now my wife, and I have a kid, and we live in a house together and everything now. And been with her a while, and I was sitting there thinking, man, like, all I wanted to do was earn a salary off this to make myself, you know. And if this song with Lupe Fiasco isn't going to enable me to make enough money to live week to week, you know what I mean? Like in this scene here we have in our small country, well then what hope do I have? And like I suppose before that I was a bit, because I put everything into this, everything I had, you know. So then I had to think about making a life for myself, and now we have a kid and the whole lot, and this is where I am now. I'm back because there's that hole in me I've got everything that I used to complain about in my songs. I've fixed all that. But the hole I have now left is the bit I left behind, you know? So while I'm sitting here in this gaff over the last couple of months, my mate sent me on a link to this microphone, you know? I was like, well, you should maybe get Amazon to deliver one of them, you know? So they're sticking on a mask and gloves going out to get this microphone into me gaff, you know? And, what? Say again?
Like one of these, is it?
Yeah, well, yeah, something similar to that, yo, yeah.
That's a studio now, though, in a way, like.
That's what I mean. But you know, and it brings us back to the earlier point of this Sin City and the start of social media and everything. And then again, bringing up radio, we were all so reliant on getting on the radio. Now that doesn't matter, Paddy. Like, so when I put this single out, this new one, it's platforms like yours, like this, that's what's more important now. It's not like begging to the master now, oh, please stick me on rotation. No, I don't give a shit about that anymore. I'm older, and it's an odd thing, because the story I've explained to you was one of like almost desperation at one point. But now I'm more dangerous because I'm not desperate, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Because I've noticed that in the fight game as well, that it's hard when you fight someone that's desperate. There's always that zest there, you know what I mean? But there's that emotional connection as well, which leads open to making mistakes, you know. And when you are flowing, like, you know, when you go out and play a game of football or you do something where you're just there for the reason, you're not thinking how you got there, what you put, and it just flows. But if you don't think it in that way, you know what I mean? At the time, you explained it perfect there, because that's how I would have noticed it as well, where you get a little bit exhausted. Like, I got exhausted with fighting, and I've seen other people doing it as well, and now we are in a situation where sometimes people are still begging to the masses in all sorts of ways, in MMA, in music. I think the thing that you bumped into there, what you were saying was politics, where the Spin 1038 thing and all. But think,
in fairness to Spin, they always played me, and it wasn't Spin that the issue was with. It was more with the record label, like Lupe Fiasco's record label. So they handed me the verse with one hand, and they took all the stuff I could do with it away with the other, you know. And so Spin played the song, like Spin done their part, and then furthermore, they went on to play my next single, the "Do You Really Love Me," even more, you know. And that was probably one of my favorite singles that I've done, because again, it was just me going, fuck it, like, this is gonna be a bit of crack, and I think we encapsulated that in the video. But you know, as you said or alluded to earlier on, I was sort of a bit on the way out at that stage, you know, that way.
Yeah, you get exhausted. That's what happens. You can get exhausted. Do you know what I mean? At that time, especially the ambition. Ambition is a hard thing to kind of keep firing up as well. Do you know what I mean? Especially with no money, because people think, like, they see it on a stage and they're like automatically in this way in their head. It's like, oh, you've made it, or you're on the radio, or you're making money, you're getting paid money. You know what I mean? But it is hard, and when you start dealing with these, here's a great bit of advice I got. It's hard to get there, Paddy. It's even harder to stay there. Yeah. And that's a massive part, because sometimes you can get in and maybe you're a little bit tired when you got there at the start. So you see guys like, say, Bugsy Malone now, and you see guys like, say, Macklemore, that are even bigger again, and Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, like they were probably in a situation where they were coming to a situation, like when they were getting signed by Jimmy Iovine and all, I just need the money now, you know, and they jump in, and then people that hunt and people that seek them do-gooders, seek the dreamers, if you must, they get better at sensing when you're at your weakness as well, you know, and that's where someone flops in with a big 7-year contract. I was watching that thing the other day, did you see that? Yeah!
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it when I seen that.
You know what I mean? And these people, so you're a professional basketballer, or a professional fighter, or a professional rapper, or whatever. Yeah, these guys are professional at what they do.
Yeah, it's true.
You have to watch that. So on this next time coming, on this next little spin, do you think that you're going to keep it on? You're going to keep it more independent label, like as I said, like you see people like Bugsy and all doing so well now.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, I've always been like a combination of sort of making catchy music and really deep sort of stuff as well at the same time. But I've been like in the past sort of chastised for making stuff that might have like the odd song that might have sounded a bit cheesy or whatever, you know. But however, I've always defended myself in that regard, saying that was like I was actually buzzing out like 5 nights a week at that stage, you know. I was always going out, I was always partying. Like, if I was to write a song now about going into a nightclub, man, the song would be about me going into the Jackson, hiding till the place closed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not me now. But I will always have the witty punchlines. Like, I haven't changed. I've grown up, you know. I've like my style won't change too much. But the message will be stronger, and it will like I suppose like it'll be, you know, like up and coming MCs or whatever. I would like to think they'd appreciate it, but also in my own age group or whatever. Like I'd like to think those people that have come along with me throughout the music I've made, will see the growth in that journey as well. You know, with the new year.
And I'll definitely sure even the idea of like say you would make a really, really good tune and you would put 2 or 3 lines in it. Back in the day, you probably wouldn't have seen as like they're not going to get them lines it's going to ensure that I'm not going on radio because of them lines. Where now as an adult, you'll be able to kind of you can kind of have that toss up with your ego in a way, whether we don't care, I'll say what I want, or you know what I mean. I'll play the game if you must. So how do you feel with that and the idea of like someone telling you, yeah, Rob, this is going well, but you got to take that line out, like, because obviously a 20-year-old you was probably like, don't change my music, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it's to be honest with you, I wouldn't be worried about something like that at all, because like I said, it started as my friend sending me a link to a microphone. Then it blossomed into a passion project. Then I put the word out there, and now we've gone from mixtape to turn into an album. We're putting out a couple of singles. We've got pieces ready to go as soon as this whole thing is finished, to put a video out. You know, and the lead single, and I dropped this on the show today, will be one produced by DJ Flip, who was like one of the top producers in Ireland, World Scratch Champ DJ. And the video should star Emmett Kirwan, who is also another Tallaght native like ourselves. So if you were to drop your head into that video, I would be the 3rd most known bloke from Tallaght in that video.
Yeah, more known than the Square.
Yeah, as known as Dominic Shot.
Stop, will you hear? And less crooked. Go in there with a score, man. You come out with bleeding supplies for the whole country.
Go in there with a score and you come out with €50.
That's an even better one, that is. So there's a few young fellas down there, as I told you. So there's a studio in the gym now, there is, right? So one of the radios in it, there's a full boot, everything in it, you know what I mean? And it's a savage little spot, it is. But there's a few lads that have been down and they've been recording in it, and some of that stuff is good. It's taken off online as well, it is. So they're from my own way, from Jobstown. I can't remember their name at the moment. I think one of them's D24 and stuff like that. But they're good little young fellas. Have you heard of them yet?
Yeah, I've seen a video with a guy Dub Zeno, where a couple of lads are in there. Yeah, they look like they've a lot of potential. No, in fairness, yeah. That's good, and it's great to see as well from the area as well, people doing a bit, you know. But like, you know, while I've stepped out and I'm stepping back in now, but like the growth within the scene itself has been amazing. And to take it back to what you said at the beginning, we were pushing a sort of professional sounding product back then. Like everybody's got that now. Like technology is massively changed since then, you know. So like fair play to the boys and fair play to everybody that's doing it. There's massive potential within that scene at the moment, but nobody's relying on the radio or anything. Like I said, it's all about the buzz now, and that's the way it should be. You should be able to make your own buzz, and the people that deserve to be heard should do that in the end.
I think that world has came about because of because you do have the masses. Like let's be out straight. You know what I mean? There's one person who controls the newspapers. There's one person who controls the bleeding the RTA and the media and all that kind of stuff. And like they shouldn't be boys, but they are boys, and that's just being it. And if you don't think that boys, you just don't know what boys is. Then, do you know what I mean? In a way, so this is a station where people can say what they want to say, you know what I mean, and promote that stuff like where there's no agenda behind it. I will promote you because you're a Tallaght head and I'm a fan, you know what I mean, and that would be enough for me.
That was both ways.
Yes, but Tallaght is good for that, you know what I mean, because it has that camaraderie in it where people want to link in. What do you think of Bugsy stuff, Bugsy Malone?
Yeah, I'm not I wouldn't have listened to a whole lot of the stuff, but what I've heard is deadly. Yeah,
it's great to see some people being able to kind of adapt their community and their kind of their nationality into it in a way as well.
Yeah, well, this is it, and especially with hip hop, like I mean, first of all it's expression, but it's about being who you are. So when I started, naturally, rapping over a B-side to a Dr. Dre CD when I was 13 in the bedroom in my man's gap. I thought I was from Compton and had an American accent, you know what I mean? And it's so many lives I took over that short span, in Compton, you know what I mean? But when I figured out that I was actually, Rob Byrne, from Tallaght, and spoke in my own sort of the accent and got everything together. And it's in all seriousness, it's about being yourself, and that's the most important thing. So anybody that's ever come through in Ireland, and you would hear a lot of them less frequently these days putting on American accents, all the Irish lads that are rapping just call them out straight away, there's no future in that.
Do you think Conor being such an influential person in the world now, and the idea of that Dublin accent, that Dublin slang as well, you know what I mean? Because a lot of his sayings are basically a really, really Dublin sayings, you know what I mean, in a way, and he executes them lines. And I think speech in Dublin alone can have them punchlines, you know what I mean? Like top of the morning to you is is a punchline, but it's not all over the world as being an Irish saying, if you must, I think that's going to help the scene coming back, people being able to recognise the accent or even listen for the accent.
Well, he transcends sport, doesn't he? So I mean, everything he does, people watch and listen. So yeah, it adds a relevance to everything else that it touches on. So absolutely, for sure. Well, I just think in general as well, there's a greater acceptance to hip hop music in Ireland these days. Back in the day, we played a few good gigs and a lot of crap ones, and there was some great times. Say again?
Dordens, was it? Eamon Dordens would have been then.
We played a few in there, all right, yeah, for sure. And we doing some great gigs, but I mean, looking at the video, there's a fella Mango rapping, Mango Matman, very big in the scene at the moment now, and just looking at some of the videos from their recent gigs, the crowd are absolutely buzzing, they're like raves, these gigs, and that's the way it should be. People should be there to party. And back in the day, what at the start, at the beginning of this, we were standing on stage trying to convince people we were all right, and so now it seems like there's a general wider acceptance before you even touch the mic as such. We don't have to get on there and just we used to go out on shows, myself and Ross Soul, as he was formerly known. He's known as Louis Pirata now, living in Barcelona. And we used to have to go out there and be like, right, let's win these over, and that was it. Every night getting paid. Some nights we get paid, some nights we wouldn't, but it was because we just loved it so much, and we knew the product that we had was good, and we just had to keep believing. And And like I said to you earlier on, the only thing that took that away from me was just getting burned out after a lot of time, and the pathway to success sort of opening up, and then me realizing that was actually the door shutting, you know.
It's a heartbreaking thing because you're dealing with the sharks when you get in there. You know what I mean? Especially at that level, you're starting to deal with money and contracts and percentage because nobody wants you making something, Rob, that you're going to benefit from. You know, that's how
multiple different facets in my life. Anyway.
Yeah, that's how it works, isn't it? So two more questions for you. I'll let you go. So when you were say when you were starting to veer left, or you were getting exhausted, and you were going off, right? What did that feel like? Does it feel like failure? Does it feel like you're like I'm giving up here? You're in a factory now. You're walking. You're still rhyming. Like, probably like Eminem and Bleeding 8 Mile there. You know, he's in the factory there for a little bit. But like, what to somebody when you say, you know what? Not that I throw in the towel, but I understand. Like, and it's not like you have a family, you have the kids, and your future wife obviously saying, like, well, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? And like trying to support someone through is a hard thing. You know what I mean? So, what's the mind frame for somebody now where they're putting everything they have into it, Rob, and then they're like, maybe the timing of the world is just not on their side at that time? What would you say to them?
It's a good question. I feel like it's a slower, more burnt out variant of watching your favourite team lose a match, you know? So, like, I'm a Leeds fan, so I'm used to this, right? So, basically, so say Leeds get beaten by, I don't know, Colchester 3-0 at home a few years ago. I'm like, that's it. I'm never, ever watching this team again. You know what I mean? This is bullshit. And then I wake up the next day and I'm like, geez, so what? And he's playing Tuesday if they a cup game or Saturday or whatever. So the music situation for me was it was like I've done all I can do. And I don't mean in terms of making music. I mean in terms of being able to carve out a living for myself at that moment in time, you know? There's always more to do in terms of music, and that's what I'm going to do now over the next few months, you know? But rather than that feeling of your favourite team losing, it was more like the feeling of, as time passed, I was sort of like, maybe I could have done something else, or maybe there was some other mistakes I made. And as we go back to what we talked about earlier on, talking about the radio being your god at that time and everything else, it's like, maybe I should have just said, you know, forget all that and just done. But there's always maybes in every walk of life, you know. What's important to me now is legacy, and it's about making a product that people will properly remember me by and know that I was one of the best to do it over here. And I'm pretty confident I can do that if I just keep my head down, you know. And to be honest, I don't have a lot else to do, so I've no more excuses left in the chamber.
Listen, you have so many resources around you now as well, where you don't have to go like you like studio time and all this kind of stuff. As I said, setting up a studio and all is as easy as like back in the day. It was like egg boxes on the wall and stuff, wasn't it? You're like all. Yeah, you're like, everyone's like my studio. Just now, we're the same.
Take the egg boxes down.
There's stuff coming off the walls and all here. Look, we're trying to keep it in. We got a bit of sound. You know what I mean? It's all good. It's sound. So say the last thing. So say Versatile coming up, right? Group of lads. I don't know how long they're at it, right? But it looks like a short time, to be honest, like compared to what some lads have been like in the mine for a long, long time. You know what I mean? This lad's been peak and he finds a nugget this size in comparison in a way, but the boy is selling out the arena out there on the keys and stuff like that and all. Like, is it because in fighting as well? Like, there's some people that are able to be happy for people, and then there's some people that are just can't be happy for people. Or I don't know, they bit on his kicks in and out like that. Was there a spell of both?
Say the last bit again, Paddy.
Was there a spell of both when you see lads kicking in, you're like, bollocks, right?
You know, maybe if it was someone else, but not Versatile, so I really like them, you know. So, no, I'd keep Lucy in touch with Eskimo Supreme from Versatile, Alex, you know, and you know, there might be something there in a project coming up as well with myself, you know. So I like what the boys do. I like the way their product is very visual. You know, it's like the music is built around the videos. It's a total different angle, and I think they're deadly. You know, I do get a bit of crack out of them, but they're also technically very sound as well. And so, to answer your question, if it was someone I didn't like, I'd be freaked out.
Man, legend. How are you getting on through all of this madness?
I'm all right, man. You know, like, I'm a simple man. All I want to do is give me mum and dad a hug and have a pint in their hands, you know. Other than that, I'm happy. Like, everybody I know is okay. Everyone I speak to, like, on Skype and whatever else, has had their ups and their downs. I don't want to do any more, like, Skype parties, stuff like that, you know. My again?
Play the poker face.
You know what I mean? Like, I've got a good poker face, but I don't have a good poker game. Like, you know what I mean?
We don't even talk the last podcast I was saying to somebody, me and my mates were on it last night, and I'm not messing, man. There's no banter like your old school mates, isn't there not, like?
Well, Paddy, I hang around with the same group of lads from Tallaght that I've hung around with since I'm 14. We're all still best friends, you know. Like, before I jumped on the podcast with you today, I just shared a picture to the boys group on WhatsApp of I came home from Australia this day 10 years ago, and it's all the boys, all the same boys that are in that group in this photo, you know. So we all stick together, and in this time we'll all stick together as well, and we'll get through it, and we'll have that point of Guinness.
Absolutely. Listen, give me a shout and I'll belt down one of the nights to our hands. Now, I don't know if I'm still barred, but we'll see what happens, right?
I don't know if I am either, but I see in the car park.
Yeah, one or the other. Bring us a point out the back like the old days, isn't it? Let me hang up there, right? Because I won't record if you hang up. So, Rob, absolute pleasure. And you know what? Stay in touch with us because we want to be friends here with you, yeah? We want to give you a hand with this. So, getting back up, we'll give you a good push along with this and we'll try and add in whatever which way we can, you know?
Paddy, I really appreciate it, and it goes both ways, mate.
Absolutely, mate. As I said, we push out a good bit of this, and I said people don't know the gems that are here in the country, you know what I mean? And hopefully they get to hear a bit of this, and hopefully you see the Sin City now in a few days going up to 1 million viewers.
Yeah. Or one of my own solo songs.
Yeah. No, actually, cut that out. The other one, yeah. That's the game. You're the legend. Peace out.
You too. Talk to you later, bro.
So that was no shame episode. I don't even know. We don't even have numbers on this anymore. Cause my old mate Robin's not here to tell me the numbers. But that was Rob Byrne, so Nucentz. I hope you check this guy out. If you're into rap, you're into rhythmic Irish poetry or any sort of music, Rob is a straight up dude. He was the one that was always pushing the professionalism in it. Like, no, it needs to be better. It needs to be better. And I have to say, from watching from afar and from knowing guys that would have been in that group and trying to get tips off them and stuff like that, it was pretty epic to be able to sit there now and have a conversation with someone that at a time I would have been trying to learn from in that way. Still am trying to learn from, but I hope you look after yourselves. Another week in the bag there. I hate to keep sounding like a broken record, but try and keep popping your head in on your neighbours and popping your head in on people, because as the weeks go by, the complacency can kick in. It's like anything, you know. So yeah, look after yourself.